Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Carnivore, Keto, and anything in between. And what I do here is talk to you guys every few days with a cuppa. And it's just a great time to sit and have that coffee chat while you put your day together, what you're gonna do. You're probably gonna hear what I'm gonna do, which is same old, but I love that. I love same old, same old. It sure is better than handling any crises, right? We like just a typical day. I do carnivore. I have done the giving ups, the little things, the big things, and it all seems to be working for me. And as you can tell, I never have to clear my throat since I've gone carnivore. Another thing that has happened is kind of funny because I sleep so soundly now. I have that deep, delicious slumber that I talk about. So last night I went to bed and 8 hours, I don't think I moved. And when I went to get up, I was stiff, not sore, not achy, like I used to be when I had carbs and veggies and fruits and, partook in the keto world, which is a lot different than the carno world. But it was only because like I slept so soundly. So it was just kind of funny. It's like, oh, okay. I can't whine about that because who doesn't want 8 hours of sound sleep? I sure do. Yep. Then I got up and I took a shower. I made my pizza crust. Talk about epic fail. It's all over the place. I mean, it will taste the same, but when I go to flip it without any almond flour in it, sometimes it is a challenge. So for those of you that ask me how I do my all cheese and egg crust, it's tricky. And last week was a good one. The week before was a disaster. This was a disaster. It comes out okay. I will still have it. I don't start all over with something like that because I'm not going to waste those good ingredients. But yeah, it is kind of funny. If you saw it, you'd go, yeah, and you think you're a good cook? So I was just reading a little bit of Sean's The Carnivore Diet book, and I was reading about the doneness of like a steak, and they were showing pictures, and it was just interesting. And in my waitressing career, I've had people come in and order Pittsburgh, and that's about as it's put it on. The minute it stops mooing, take it off. Very, very. It's almost got like a cool center, almost like a blue, and I'm kind of in the rarish to medium rare, and I'm funny with the prime rib because I love the outer part that's pot roasty and fatty and juicy and all of that, and then the meat on the inside. I kind of am more medium rare with the prime rib, whereas with a steak I love the rare. And so anyway, it's just interesting to see the pictures and read about the temperature and what you can expect biting into it and the juiciness of it. And then there's a reference guide in the back for all kinds of animals, and it's kind of fascinating. And I won't be having brains anytime soon. There's 1.7 carbs in a 4-ounce serving. Well, do you think that'll give me the pass on why I don't want to eat brains? Yeah, let's see how that works. So I go about my food plan and I just enjoy it. It's just simple. Over the years, I've stuck to some things that I learned in OA, and then over the years, I have changed some things. One of the things is I always use the smaller plate, and it's the salad size from Fiesta. So what is it, 6-7 inches as opposed to the dinner plate? I'm not a dinner plate person; it's too big. And I know some people that like the real estate of the dinner plate and nothing touches, so they can have that. When I have my carnivore meal, there are times where I will just have like a single ribeye or the T-bone that I get at the butcher's. I go to the butchery on Sunday for my steaks. I go to the butchery on Fridays for my ground top sirloin for my burger night. and sometimes I get the bone-in short ribs too. And I have a prime rib in the freezer from Market Basket. Yeah, it was at Market Basket the other day. So I said, I think I'm going to get this to cook it for next week. Why not? It was $6.99 a pound, which, that works for me. And so I'm going to take it out of the freezer tomorrow, Sunday, as I record this, and defrost that and have that. So I use Chef John's recipe, and which is to preheat the oven. It's hot. You put it in. You cook it something like 15 minutes per pound. Then you turn off the oven and let it sit. And I did it on Christmas Day. We went to visit Greg's son in Plymouth, 30 miles away. And so I did all the gadgets on the stove to, delay start, how long to cook, turn it off. And what I got was a well-done piece of meat because it was sitting in there as preheated, so it partially cooked. So this is my get that taste out of my mouth and have a nice medium rare prime rib that will be delicious for the first of next week. We'll see how it all comes out. But yep, I'm a beef girl. And like I had a roast pork this week, and I had the crunchy outside part that was fatty, like the prime rib part that's fatty. And then I was bored. And fortunately, on the side, I also had some steak left over, so I could put that in the cast iron pan and quickly cook that too. So it was good. And so I'm just happy with that. I found some ground lamb at Whole Foods and bought a package and freezed 2 little 4-ounce patties, and then had a 4-ounce patty, and Greg had a 4-ounce patty one night. It's delicious. So then I went back in and I asked for more, and they said the FDA has all these requirements of what cut you can do and put in the grinder and how it has to be, and you can't do this with that, and blah, blah, blah. So I guess there's some pretty stringent rules about doing that. So that's why I like the butcher. I can just say, can I have 2 pounds of ground top sirloin? And it's like, sure. And it comes out with more, and they say, is that okay? And I say, sure. I get my sausage at hot spicy sausage at Whole Foods. It is that animal rated, welfare rated with the pork. The ingredients I don't like to look at. There are some things that just, don't go along with carnivore. I have a sausage this big. That's it, So it just is what it is. It's like a processed meat that maybe some of you still partake in. It is what it is. I don't think it's going to be a carnivore killer for any stretch, because usually I'm having steak, ground beef, and steak or ground beef, sometimes some eggs. I made a organic Valley cream cheese and organic Monterey Jack. What is the it's the one with the spice. All of a sudden, there goes the brain. I need more coffee. That spicy Monterey Jack. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, omelet the other day with my Pete and Jerry eggs. Delish with a side of steak. That always works. And so my diet, my items that I choose from are very small, but they just work. And I always look very, very forward to fatty cuts of beef. They just work for me. Like when I have the short ribs look like the highest calorie for 4 ounces in Sean's book. And yeah, just works. But I'm not having any short ribs this week because the prime rib will take up a day, maybe a day and a half. Maybe there'll be some, the leftover prime rib with an omelet or something like that. So I keep it very, very simple, but it's very, very fatty and very, very, very satiating. On a side note, did you see the interview with Sean and Mike from Carnomat? I'm so proud of him. He has really gotten every single, person that we look to for our carnivore videos. He had an interview with him, and they're going to do a part two, and it's great. He was very, very forthcoming. I think it's very fascinating. Sean also had a so that's Mike's win for Carnomad, but Sean also did an interview with somebody about agriculture and the other side of this whole carnivore world that we're in. And um, we've got quite a big vegan agenda coming at us all the time, but it's also very important to understand, feedlot, grass-fed, grass-finished, all the different versions. There's purists, there's people that beat other people up for not doing it the way that they think. It's not always, the best world to be in. Sometimes you're a target for somebody that does something a certain way. I know that a lot of carnivores, like Mike, he has chicken still. I think it's the quarters that he has with the dark meat. I saw some ground dark turkey meat on sale at Whole Foods and looked interesting. I put that ground top sirloin on top of my pizza pizza that I have on Saturdays. That works. And I use some thinly sliced. I mean, you could see my face. It's so sliced thin pepperoni, just for that spicy flavor. We do what we do, and it's a great world. A lot of people have cheese and eggs and other dairy products. Sour cream, people still like their sour cream and pork rinds treat or snack. As most of you know, I'm not a believer in snacking, and I do kind of look for the dense nutritional value in something, hence a fatty piece of meat. But I'm not a snacker, so I've never had pork rinds or sour cream as a snack. I don't believe in snacking. I have one meal a day. It's usually between 2 and 3, and that just works. I don't eat on my overnight, so I'm not like screwing up my gut with what seemed to have worked in the past. I don't know. I made that pledge. I worked at the police department 25 years ago. I don't think I did eat then. I brought my little bowl of mixed, usually bran and granolas and whatever that, there's one company that makes a lot of kashi. I had a kashi mix with a banana and almond milk. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. Alas, they did. So I made that pledge when I began to work back at the police department 3.5 years ago. I only bring coffee and I have 1 cup at midnight when I get there, and then I have nothing. And that works for me. So I'm not really messing with things that my body's used to, or I'm not eating. And all the times, the policeman will go cook out on the grill and bring in food, and all the donations that are made around Christmas time in the kitchen. I don't go near the kitchen. That's how I handle it. There's no need for me to go into that kitchen if I'm not eating, right? There's only one time I need to go into the kitchen, and that's if somebody arrests somebody and they come right in at midnight. So I don't get my coffee hot the way that I like it as I settle into my 8-hour shift. So I'll have to go back in the kitchen and use the microwave. And I look at all these non-food, edible food items that people homemade or bring in, and it's just like, it's so not me anymore. And it's just interesting. I think the thing that you can pray for the most is to get so used to looking at standard American food and not seeing it as food. What a blessing. It's like, it doesn't even register, If at 10 o'clock, I have to do an Uber Eats of something with the nummies from places like Starbucks, McDonald's, IHOP, all those sort of places, and have them in the car next to me. They don't talk to me anymore. In fact, I sit there and I say, yep, there's that industrial oil they were cooked in. I can smell it. Just like I can smell some workers that, it's permeated their work uniforms. I used to have that too when I worked in restaurants. Just that it never comes out. Once that apron, shirt, cloth, jacket, whatever it is that you wear gets permeated with those seed oils never comes out again. So, if you've gotten used to being around standard American foods, the tough part that I always notice, that I always feel, is for people that work with food pushers of the standard American diet. That's the tough part. It's one thing to like go into the kitchen at work and it's got all these, here, have some, made it, brought it from home, huh? Have whatever you want, all that sort of stuff. That's one thing. But to have that food pusher verbally be on you, especially if it's lunchtime and you all kind of eat together, it's got to be one of the hardest things. I found, at least in my last like real job, where in that shelter, at the staff meeting that was 3 hours long and we all ate together, that keto could fit in and not look, like people wouldn't like make the comments that they'd make if like Kelly Hogan bringing out her little burger bites, her burger cookies. That would definitely raise a lot of eyebrows, because in the nonprofit world, it kind of is filled with a lot of vegan, vegetarian-centric people. So it's just a very interesting thing to go in as a meat eater, because that's not an agenda that's pushed there. And plus, with the foods that they buy for the clientele, it's just all grains and white flour and seed oils. Buying jugs of canola oil and vegetable oil, and as close to their junk food that they'd prefer, but we call it a meal, right? Pasta with sugar sweetened sauce. Crazy, isn't it? With white garlic bread. And but I always bought butter. Do I get points for that? So we do what we do. We adjust. Sometimes we're here ranting and raving. Other times we bring good tips for people. Read the other people's comments. You will certainly get an education. This is a wonderful batch of viewers that I have. Mike Carnomad complimented me in an email or a post the other day that said I had very, very intelligent seniors, or wise elders. That's what he called, the bulk of people in my group. And it's true. One of the gifts we do get, not just from being carnivore, but we do get wisdom as we get older and we learn about our bodies. And if all we share here is how our bodies have adapted to keto all the way to carnivore, well, isn't that the point? We can help people that are new, people that are serious, people that, don't want to learn how to make a keto bread or muffin. They want to learn how to eat so they don't have aches and pains and medications and, brain fog and all those sort of things. They want to learn how to clear it up, and they keep hearing us talk about the benefits of that. For me, one of the hugest benefits was my bloated body. All the time. It's just the way that it was. That's what veggies did to me. Here, girlie, here, let me reward you from eating all that spinach salad with bloat and a boatload of oxalates. But of course, I didn't know that then. I thought I was doing the right thing, because you read the back of the tub of the organic spinach that you buy, and you read the nutrition list and you say, wow, I'm getting all that C, all that A, even some D, and then some other wonderful nutrients. Yeah, that'd be great, but your body's most likely not absorbing them. Isn't that funny? And all those years we thought that and we went for that. It is the way that it is. Gosh, I'm glad you're here. It's still World Carnivore Month, and so we're still plugging along, enjoying it. And my February food items won't change. It'll still look like it's Carnivore Month, because that's what works for me. And whatever works for you is what I want for you. If you're just getting there, good. If you're still in the giving up the things that maybe have no nutrition in them, no value, and you might even say, I'm addicted to that. If you're still working on that, good for you. Most of us had to give up those sort of things too along the way. And now it's just like this memory of like way back when, not remembering the taste, not remembering the craving, the triggering, the need, the addiction. It's so great to be done with that. I'll just have another ribeye. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Carnivore and Keto and anything in between. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.